Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Bragging Rights. Two new contestants here on Bragging Rights. I got Anna, I got Molly. They're going to fight for Bragging Rights. Now, for those of you who have never tuned in to watch the show, this is what will happen. I will ask a question. Each contestant will give me a response to the question. After their time is up, they will get a chance to rebut each other, and then we will assign points according to who made the best argument. Not necessarily who had the right answer, but who had the best argument for their answer. We'll play to the first 1 to 3, 5 questions. We understand the rules? All right, let's shake hands and let's try not to kill each other. All right, so we're going to talk about some college football. Obviously, college football is in full swing. We're not going to talk about Tennessee because I'm tired of just being upset the entire time. So let's just go around and, we'll start off with a, pretty simple one and a fun question to ask. Who has the greatest tradition in college football? Now we're going to let Anna go first because she's been here longer.
All right, Adam. Well, I hate to bring you back down to Tennessee football.
Oh, you're killing me.
But the Vols definitely have the greatest college football tradition by running through the tee. It is absolutely incredible to be a fan and to sit in the stands and to watch them run through that tee, watch Smokey go through and the coaches and the players, and to see your favorite people running through there. It's really a feeling unlike any other. It for sure is. And as far as college traditions go, that's definitely the best one.
All right. Molly, greatest football and college tradition and why?
Although I agree running through the tee is classic, I have to disagree with you and go with Howard's Rock, Clemson. You see that every game. Clemson is classic. You see that in Memorial Stadium. They go to the Rock and they run through. Everyone's hype. It's great energy. Clemson, I feel, is a more relevant team right now anyway. They just blew Georgia Tech out of the water 24-10. They're blowing teams out of the water left and right. Howard's Rock has got to take it here.
So I'll give you a chance for rebuttal.
So I can agree. Not bad. But Tennessee football may not have a lot right now, and fans still get excited when they run through the tee. So, what you have a good team and they run through and they get excited, or you have a Tennessee team and they run through and they still get excited. So for sure running through the tee.
Molly? You got it.
Yes, Tennessee has a tradition. I can't disagree with you there, but Howard's Rock is always going to be the classic move. They're on top always. They got the rock. That's all I got.
All right, so both of you guys have, staged your cases. Anna for the Power Tee and Molly for Howard's Rock. This is a hard one. You guys both made good arguments because, yes, your argument about, Tennessee's football team not being that good and, that's really all they have to look forward to at games anymore, that and possibly hearing Rocky Top. And then on the other hand, when you get, that sea of orange, it may not be as big as the sea of orange in Neyland, but, Death Valley is unlike anything else. And Howard's Rock, again, it's actually, bringing an artifact to an actual game. But I do think that the argument for that's really the only thing that Tennessee fans have to look forward to. Anna gets point number 1, and we are off and running. Okay, so, again, little college football history. Who is your favorite not your favorite. Who is the greatest college football player to have ever graced the game of football? Anna, you got the last point. You can go first.
All right, so might surprise a few people here, but Charles Woodson. The man, he can do it all. He really, truly can. He plays offense. He plays defense. He led Michigan to the 1997 co-national champs, with Nebraska. And then he also won the Heisman that year, and he is the last player that played mainly defense to win the Heisman. So, how can you argue against somebody that can really, truly do it all?
Now, Molly, your pick is a little farther south here for a team that we don't necessarily like.
Although we don't like the Florida Gators, I have to go with Tim Tebow. 2007 Heisman winner, led Florida through 2 national championships. The man is still an icon to this day. You see him on SEC Network. He is thriving. He thrived in college. He's got to be the guy here.
I'm going to have to disagree, and the reason why is because Tim Tebow is much more recent, and what do we not see him doing? playing football. He's pretty much doing everything else but playing football.
Well, now hang on. That wasn't the question. The question was greatest
College.
college, not anything else. Rephrase your question
Okay.
or your rebuttal.
Fair enough. But Charles Woodson, the man, Tim Tebow, great player, won't take that away from him. But, I mean, he was a stellar quarterback. But Charles Woodson, he played defense and he was running them back. I mean, really, truly, I can't think of anyone better than someone that can genuinely, truly do it all like Charles Woodson.
All right, Molly, give me a reason again for Tim Tebow over Woodson.
Tim Tebow over Woodson. Woodson, although can do it all, we got these 2 national championships under Tim Tebow's belt. I think that really puts him ahead. He led that team. He did a good job. He's got that under his belt. I think that puts him ahead of Charles Woodson.
All right. Now, a little disappointed because, I feel like, both obviously, Tim Tebow, great quarterback, Charles Woodson, another good player. Kind of disappointing. Either you said, people like Jim Thorpe, Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders, or, my personal pick, and, I'm sorry, Mom, but Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker was, unbelievable. This one, again, a hard choice to give to. We are going to go with Anna, though. Anna, coming in with, the fact that, making a case for a defensive player, winning the Heisman, and being the greatest college football player. I think that definitely seals it. So Anna's up 2-0. One more point, and you will have bragging rights. So let's get into a little, more recent football, get into this season. Who's your Heisman favorite so far that is not Saquon Barkley, the running back from Penn State? Give me somebody else that could possibly take it away from him.
All right, so again, we're coming a little bit from left field. However, Mason Rudolph from Oklahoma State. He has 22 passing touchdowns. He's leading OSU to a 7-1 record, and he's leading the #1 offense in the nation. He truly is doing something out there in Oklahoma. And then also, he has a 65.6% completion percentage. So it's truly, the man, he's out there doing it. He's out there putting Oklahoma on the map, and so for sure, Mason Rudolph.
All right, so my former transfer school, Oklahoma State, Mason Rudolph on the board. What do you got for me?
I got Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, senior, also a senior. He's got 72% completion
Percentage.
23 passing touchdowns. He's a dual threat quarterback. He's got busted plays, turning them to positive plays. He's overturning those. He is the front runner for the Heisman, besides Barkley, obviously. I think he's got potential there to pull out a win there.
Anna?
So talking about Mayfield, yes, of course he looks impressive stats-wise, but Rudolph is leading the #1 offense in the nation, and he's doing it quite well with that 7-1 record. So I got to really stick to Rudolph.
Although that's a great point, I think Baker Mayfield, his persona puts him ahead too. He's got that charisma. He's turning those busted plays and positive plays. He's making those touchdowns, and he's got the charisma, the character of somebody who you want to see win the Heisman. And I think that puts him ahead.
All right. So, again, another, really difficult choice. Sorry, we were getting the votes tallied up from the production booth while, I was just sitting there pausing. While Mason Rudolph obviously, commands the #1 offense. He's got a lot of weapons with Justice Hill, James Washington, and Zach Crabtree for the Cowboys. But I think I got to give it to Molly on this one. I think Molly, coming in, with Baker Mayfield and giving me the reason why, because, while yes, being a quarterback is great, her analysis on him being a dual threat quarterback really, just kind of gave it to her. So it is 2-1, still anybody's ball game. And here is question number 4. Give me your first 4 in for the college football playoff and the first 2 out. Molly, you can go first.
Okay, we got first 4 in: Clemson, Bama, Ohio State, and Notre Dame. I think Bama and Clemson are kind of the front runners there for the playoffs. Ohio State just beat the Nittany Lions 529 to 238 yards. I think it's perfect timing, just in time for the playoffs. They're going to be there. First two out, we got Miami, Georgia. Georgia, I think, is going to get knocked out. Bama will beat them. And then they got to go to another hard place, Auburn. They got to go to their home field. They got to play them and pull out a win. Unfortunately, I don't think they can do that.
All right, so she says Clemson, Bama, Ohio State, Notre Dame in, and Miami and Georgia out. Who you got, Anna?
All right, so I got Alabama, Ohio State, Oklahoma, and Clemson. So we have a few that are similar. So Bama is Bama. Bama's always going to do what Bama's always going to do. For sure, they're in. Clemson, I mean, just like last year, you saw it. Clemson, great team, in as well. Ohio State, again, great team, going to be in for sure. And then where we differ, Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma, just in general, a little bit better than – you got Miami? Notre Dame. So I think just in prevalence today, I feel for sure Oklahoma definitely going to take that one. Sooners definitely got that one.
And who are your first two out?
First two out, Georgia and Penn State. Georgia, they're a great team, but Bama going to kick them right out of there. And then Penn State, I'm feeling they're going to get defeated by Ohio State to also be one of the first two out.
Well, Ohio State has, in fact, already beaten Penn State.
Right.
So that has already happened, and, that was definitely was a, black mark on Penn State's, record. So I'll let you give your rebuttal and then yours, and then I actually have a few questions for both of you regarding some of your teams.
Sure. So where we differ, Oklahoma, I got Notre Dame. Notre Dame's in their own conference. They get that advantage of picking who they want, what do they want to see, and I think that puts them in a better position to be in the playoffs first in there. I think that's what I got to go with.
All right, and then for me, Oklahoma, really for no other reason than when they came here, I was at that game, and it was so sad. And I just got a feel for those for all ball fans out there, first of all, and then I feel like Oklahoma can do that and go in and do that to any team. So I just feel like Oklahoma for sure in there instead of Notre Dame.
All right, so two questions, one for each of you. First one for you, Notre Dame. Notre Dame doesn't play in a conference. How does that really hurt their chances? Because a lot of the times that you won't get in unless you win your own conference, and when you're not in a conference, that hurts you. So what sets Notre Dame apart from Oklahoma, who plays in a conference and can play for their conference championship at the end of the year?
Well, I think being on their own, they are able to thrive in their own setting. I think Notre Dame has always been great. Notre Dame, they're going to be great. They although they can't put themselves ahead to play against other teams in a conference like Oklahoma, I think they have the opportunity and the potential to put themselves ahead being on their own.
All right, and Anna, for you. So both of your teams so far have one loss. Notre Dame lost to Georgia in South Bend. Oklahoma lost to Ohio State in Ames. Mm-hmm. Notre Dame's one loss looks a lot better right now because Georgia's currently ranked second in the nation. Oklahoma's one loss came to an unranked Ohio State team whose linebacker was playing, Iowa State, whose linebacker was playing quarterback at the time. Joel Lanning destroyed the Sooners' defense. How bad, though, does that Iowa State loss affect Oklahoma?
I think that any time that it comes to football, you come out and you just play the game. You don't really, you think about who you're going to play, but at the end of the day, it's football, and you're going to go out there and play. So I don't think it'll affect them too much. I feel like that's one that maybe you brush off and keep going, just because you can't let that one game get you down, or else you're going to ruin your whole season. So I think that they're going to be able to brush that one off and keep going strong.
Let me rephrase what I asked, just because we were a little confused. How does it affect the committee's view on Oklahoma losing to Iowa State?
Fair. They're going to look at it as a bad loss for sure, pretty much like anyone else would. But I think that throughout the rest of the season, they're going to be able to really come out strong and really play each game with heart and effort and just really put good points up on the board and be some good teams and really kind of wash that Iowa State loss out.
Okay, fair enough. Well, there are a couple weeks left in the season, so we will see a lot of great rivalry games coming down. Oklahoma, big test this Saturday, taking on Oklahoma State in Bedlam. I'm going to have to give it to Anna. I think, Anna, your points on Oklahoma winning it were a lot stronger. And Molly, you tried your best. It's good for your first try. I will say this. Anna will take on somebody else in the next coming weeks. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of Bragging Rights. This is actually the last Bragging Rights that we will do in this format. We got a new format coming for you next week, so make sure you tune in right here for Sports Mecca and Bragging Rights on Rocky Top. Adam Verzal, Anna Perry, Molly Domkowski. Thank you so much. We'll see you later.